Welcome to my YouTube, Foothills Explorations. Today is a Saturday and I've decided to go out and take some fresh air as we talk about those people who choose to leave their country in search of greener pastures, and through some forces they then decide to live permanently in those new areas. I want to think that's what's called emigration. It must be understood that emigration generally comes in two ways or is driven by two factors. It's driven by various factors: employment, political crisis, wars, and several others. But however, it affects two groups of people. That's the young ones. When you're talking about the young ones here, it's basically about those who are below 30s or below 40s, who are still able-bodied, who are still energetic, who can still work and plan for their future, for their lives. Then for those over 40s or nearing their retirement in the 50s and 60s, these are two different categories. Therefore, if you look at those who live in their youthful ages or below 40 years, whilst they may think that they are going with the hope of coming back, they are then confronted. They find various interesting or exciting scenarios or situations, so much so that they then change their minds. They no longer want to come back. And this is exactly what happened to most of the people who left Zimbabwe post-2000 during a political crisis, the 1999 to 2003 political crisis in Zimbabwe. It's quite well documented. It's there for everyone to see. So millions of people moved out of Zimbabwe, especially the youth, the young ones who were involved in politics or who felt they could not get jobs, who felt their economic future was being destroyed. So they left, particularly for South Africa. The majority of them went to South Africa, United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and several other places, Botswana included. Their aim or intention was to look for jobs, look for new livelihoods, and to plan for their future. And along the way, they had an opportunity of securing permanent residence, citizenship papers, and so on and so forth. And most of them are no longer prepared or are no longer coming back. They've changed their citizenship or they've changed their residence status. With regards to that group, some have maintained over the years communication or contact with their roots back home. Some have invested back home in Zimbabwe, some have built properties, some have bought properties, some are still coming yearly, some come after 3, 4, 5 years. They see their homes as important as their new places or new bases. That's fine. And for those ones who have maintained their roots closely, you realize it's because of either of their upbringing or because they are resourced. When you are back in Zimbabwe, what we usually think or what we usually believe is, if someone doesn't come back home, it's because of being apathetic, negligent, careless, reckless, self-destructive, not looking into the future, unplanned, being an idiot, stupid, vagrant, and so on and so forth. But when you then come on the ground, you realize it's not like that. It's actually different. The situation is, in some cases, it's because of resources. People do not have money. People do not have the required resources to come back to Zimbabwe, enough resources to come back and see their families, resources to invest back home. That's for some, or the majority of them. Some have left Zimbabwe in 2000, 2004, but have not been able to come back to Zimbabwe or to visit their relatives. and it's quite pathetic. Uh, for those who have come back to Zimbabwe, for those who have maintained relations or connections, probably it's because their parents are still there, their close relatives are still there. But there are also others who have relatives, who have close relatives, but they have failed to come back. They have really forgotten their roots, they have forgotten their bases, they have forgotten where they came from, and so it's unfortunate for such groups. We have lots of relatives. It's almost every family that has someone who went out, some people who went off the country. They have experienced, or they have good examples of such reckless, irresponsible, negligent, apathetic people who fail to go back. I'm sorry to use such words, but that's exactly how I can describe them, because I believe home is best. I believe your roots are the best, even if you choose to permanently relocate, but you still have to maintain your roots. You still have to maintain your relatives and the relations back home. Now, with the second category of those in the elderly, the post-40s, post-50s, near retirement, these ones, because they would have worked for some years in Zimbabwe, they would have invested, they would have created relations, they have a lot of attachment with the roots. It then becomes difficult for them to move permanently, or where they decide then to move permanently, you realize they maintain very close relationships, very close contacts. Sorry for the train noise, but it's not as noisy as I thought it would. But anyway, for those post-50s, before they moved out of Zimbabwe, they managed to establish strong bases. They've built houses, they've built strong rural or solid rural homes. They've invested in one way or the other, and so for them to completely abandon their roots, it becomes then difficult. For some, because they married back home in Zimbabwe, they still have to maintain relations with both their families and the spouse family. They have extended families to see, to visit, and to look after. So it's different. But you also realize that in this group of the post-40s, those nearing retirement, or who move when they are nearing retirement, I'm a good example of that. I think it's being irresponsible for one to think that you cannot go back home. At my age, that's being apathetic, that's being reckless, that's being self-destructive, that's being negligent. It's being stupid, actually, to say, I'm cutting off relations with my community, with my roots, with my country, with my village. I'm no longer going back there. The essence of coming, I think, is I came to look for money. I came to improve myself financially, because the economy currently back in Zimbabwe is at its worst. So I try to improve myself from this side, so that by the time I then say I'm going back, I would have... let the train pass again. It's making noise, but all the same, that's how the economy runs. In Zimbabwe, we no longer have such trains. I have to prepare for my life whilst I'm here, whilst I'm working. I save money, I send home, I buy whatever equipment and tools that I think are important, are necessary. I send back home. I mobilize resources. I send back home. I help my relatives back home, so that when I go back, hello. Yeah. So that when I get resources, I will have a soft landing, because I would have maintained my relations with my people back home, with my relatives, my loved ones, and so on and so forth. I wonder, suppose I decide that, like some of my colleagues do tell me that we're no longer going back. At my age, what exactly would I want to do, or do I think I will ever be able to do or achieve that I failed to do back then when I was in Zimbabwe, that I think miraculously I'm going to do here? I think people need to get advice, and they need to be advised appropriately. We need to tell each other as we drink out there. We need to cancel each other. We need to share good experiences, because we have relatives. I have an uncle who went to South Africa in the 1950s. He was not married. He came back, I think in the 1990s. That's when he came back. He was not yet married, but he was already old. He had not managed to do anything. He died recently, I think around 2012, 2013, thereabout. Yeah, but he had no child, no family, no nothing, no house, no bicycle, no nothing, because he failed to plan. He thought he was not going to come back. But one thing that I have to mention here is, wherever, no matter how you plan, or how much you tell yourself that you are not coming back, how much you fool yourself that Zimbabwe is bad, I'm not going back. If you are in your 50s and you decide to move out of Zimbabwe, if in your 40s and you decide to move out of Zimbabwe, be assured that at some point you will come back. What will take you back then differs. Some will go back in their coffins, some will go back in their old ages, when they need palliative care. Out there's no solid family support systems. When you need palliative care, they then take you to old people's homes. And if a stranger looks after you, the kind of help, the kind of service, the kind of touch, the kind of care is different from that service, of that care or attention that you get from your relatives back home. So when you are old, you'll need to go back. Or when you are financially stable, when you are well up, you still need to go back, because you need to share what would you have amassed. You need a comfortable life. I tell you, Zimbabwe provides with a very conducive environment for comfortable post-retirement life. You just need to plan. So what will take you back home varies. But in my case, I know in the next few years I will be going back home. I've already planned. Actually, I started planning for my routes the moment I left Harare International Airport. That's when I said, from now on, I'm planning for my return journey. And since then, I've been doing just that. It's full hard for me to think that I will be here permanently. It's full hard for me to think that I will need post-retirement care and attention here, that I will die here, I will be buried, I'll go back to Zimbabwe, I'll go back to my farm, foothills, I will die with my family, with my relatives, I will live with them. That's what, under normal circumstances, is supposed to happen. But unfortunately for some, they fail to do that because their planning has not been as good